Hello from Myrtle Beach. Today we are going to drive on Ocean Boulevard, and today is literally hurricane or tropical storm, whichever you want to call it. Idalia left this morning, so we are going to film what Ocean Boulevard looks like. This is our first time seeing it along with you. We're going to go we're at the south end, we're headed northbound, and we're going to go all the way up to the far north end of the main strip. Hi, I'm Carmen. If you're new to our channel, we cover everything Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area. And if you're a return viewer, welcome back. We are so glad to have you. So if you didn't see it, we did put a video out yesterday that was what it looked like right before the storm, which was deserted. It was crazy, creepy, deserted. I know some of you said it looked like a zombie apocalypse that left comments on the channel. So if you missed that video, I'll link it in the description below. You can check that out. So this is literally a little less than 24 hours later after the storm. And I know some of you are going to ask, as you can see, there is a little debris in the road. Some of you are going to ask, we fared fine. We did have water come closer to our house than we wanted. The rain was actually the issue with this storm instead of the wind. There was wind, but it wasn't, we've had storms with worse wind than this one had that weren't even hurricanes. You can see a few palm fronds down there. But it was the amount of rain in a very short period of time, and we had water come pretty close to our house, which is a scary thing to see, but thankfully everything worked out. So we appreciate your positive thoughts and your prayers. So many of you left us nice messages, and we are really, really grateful for that. So for the most part, I'm going to talk a little bit about the noise as we drive, the news, not noise, as we drive and check things out firsthand. What I've seen in the news this morning, the local news, is they think there was a tornado in Cherry Grove, and there were a couple of houses damaged there. And then Georgetown County, which is just south of Myrtle Beach, that's the county to the south, they also think there were tornadoes there, which did some damage. But overall, I think the biggest issue is flooding. So if you are coming to stay either this weekend or in the near future, because it's Labor Day weekend coming up, I would call the place you're planning to stay and make sure everything is okay. I haven't heard of any widespread flooding in this immediate area, but anywhere that's near water, it can happen. And you know, like our house isn't even that close to water, and it was just the amount of rain building up in our neighborhood. So definitely a good thing to check ahead and make sure everything's still okay with the place that you're going to stay. The other thing I would caution you on is it's possible that roads between you and here may be flooded. And I won't be able to tell you which one, so that's something you'll just have to try to research on your own. I know a lot of rivers have low flooding or cresting. The Waccamaw here, I know, said they have low flooding, but the flooding will actually get worse over the next little period of time as all this water drains out. The river levels will go up. So that would be your main concern if you are trying to travel here. Definitely call ahead, check your rental, and also try to, as much as you can, research the roads, especially where they're crossing rivers or water. It's actually turning into a nice day. We started out overcast with rain very early, and now it is 9:46, and already we've got the sun peeking out occasionally. The clouds are starting to break up. It'll probably go from cloudy to sunny off and on today, but if you are coming to visit for Labor Day weekend, the forecast looks amazing. It's low 80s and sunny. That could change, of course, but that is what the current forecast is. So it is going to be a beautiful weekend. And if you are coming, we hope you have a fantastic and safe trip and safe travels to you. It is a great place, so we hope you enjoy your visit here. We definitely love living here. So we're coming up in just a couple of minutes to Family Kingdom. Family Kingdom is an amusement park. We talk about it a lot in our videos, so I'm not going to go into details other than to say it's an amusement park. And we usually, if we have flooding in Myrtle Beach proper, a lot of times it is at the Family Kingdom area. I have not heard of that on the news, but as we drive by, we'll take a look at it. It is right next to Withers Swash, and that is prone to flooding. During Hurricane Ian last year, it absolutely did flood, and the whole amusement park flooded. They've recovered from that and everything, but it's definitely a low-lying area that's prone to flooding. So we'll see what this looks like as we get up here. But for the most part, I haven't, other than the dune, we don't have a lot of dunes because of Hurricane Ian. It washed most of the dunes away. They've done some dune replacement, but other than the water coming up further than it usually does because of the lack of dunes. Wow, big gust of wind there. I know you can't hear it on the video, but the wind really gusted suddenly. I haven't heard of a lot in Myrtle Beach proper. So there's that wither swash, and it looks fine here. I don't see sand across the road, so that's a good sign. It looks like Family Kingdom is okay from what I can see. Not seeing any major issues, so that's really good. So that's definitely better than Hurricane Ian, which is not surprising. It was a weaker storm by the time it reached us, whereas Ian last year was a Cat 1 and it came in straight off the ocean, so that's pushing everything in from the ocean. This came from the west side, which was completely different. So it's not pushing as hard on the ocean towards us. Although there was definitely a storm surge, it just wasn't as bad. So yeah, things are looking really good. So if you're planning your trip, so far so good. We've still got a ways to go, so there still might be something between here and the end, but so far I'd say it's promising. And hopefully you'll be able to, if you're staying in this main strip area, you'll be able to see your resort on this video. And if you're coming soon, or even if you're not, let us know in the comments below and let us know where you're staying and when you're staying. We always like hearing about your trips. And also, if you're, like I said, if you're traveling, definitely stay safe. Be careful coming down. Like I said, never drive through water. Never. If you see water on the road, even if it looks shallow, don't drive through water. There's the Wicked Tuna. That is the 2nd Avenue Pier there. Also, I have not heard of any pier damage yet. I mean, it still could come in. This is so early. Like, the storm just pulled out like a couple of hours ago, so the news could still come in, but I have not heard of any pier damage thus far. The Cherry Grove Pier has still not been fully repaired from Ian. It's still missing a section in the middle, but I think they said in a couple of months they're hoping to have that done. Don't quote me on that time, though. That's just what I heard in the news. Usually things take longer than they predict. And the Surfside Pier still hasn't opened yet, but it was made to withstand hurricanes. So they said their only concern was actually just the construction equipment, and they were locking all that down. And there was a new news article on it, and they said they still do not have a soft opening date. So those of you that were hoping it would be open for Labor Day weekend, I would not bank on that, because if it was going to open this weekend, I think they would have made an announcement. There's definitely more signs of life this morning. It's not what I would expect right before Labor Day weekend. This should be packed, but it is definitely, we're seeing some people walk around, seeing a few cars. It's not like yesterday where it was just nobody. Like, it was just really weird yesterday. And like I said, if you saw that video, you would definitely see how strange it was. The last time we saw it like that was in 2020, April 2020, when they actually closed the beaches to the public. That was a weird time too. So here's that new construction, still working on it. It looks like they're going to have stores on the bottom, condos on the top. Again, we'll keep you posted once we know more about that. Haven't seen any announcements about it. Now we're coming up to the main central area. So on the left is the festival grounds, on the right is the volleyball courts. Take a look at the ocean. Looks nice today. Yesterday the ocean was closed to swimming. I would assume it still is today, but I don't know. I can't say that for sure. So here's Duffy's, the Bowery, Boardwalk gift shop. Coffee house is closed, Oceanfront Bar and Grill, and Peach's Corner, of course, as well as Ripley's, believe it or not. There are a lot of Ripley's attractions right here in this area, and we've got videos on all of those, so if you're interested in those, you can check in the description below. We've done videos of the inside of all of those. There's Fun Plaza. So yeah, things are looking good. This is the main central part of the Myrtle Beach Boardwalk. The boardwalk's to my right, and this is where a lot of entertainment and gift shops are packed, and also places to eat in a small area. So far so good. Even people's awnings look intact, which is great. There is the Myrtle Beach Skywheel. It's looking very beautiful this morning. And then over here is Plyler's Park. Some people walking around over there. So that's the boardwalk where you see those people walking. So that's looking good too. So yeah, I would say if you got a trip planned, things are definitely looking decent. Now, if you're going to Cherry Grove, there's definitely some issues there. And if you're going to Garden City, there are most likely issues there. I have not seen that in the news, but if you're not familiar with Garden City, it floods even when there's not a storm. It floods when there's a king tide. It floods when the moon's in a certain position. It floods a lot, and so I would assume they've got some issues, but I have not heard that in the news. There's the Funplex amusement park. Still gusty occasionally. The wind's starting to die down, but once in a while you get one of those breezes that sort of pushes you. You know, it really feels like someone's pushing on you. I am grateful we didn't get the high winds, even though we got a lot of rain. And I mentioned this in yesterday's video. I want to say it again in case you didn't see that video. Our hearts go out to those in Florida and other areas that were really heavily affected. We are hoping that they make a quick recovery, and they definitely have our sympathies and our well wishes. That's a tough thing to go through. Florida has just been getting hammered lately too. It's like a lot of them haven't recovered from Ian fully, so it's a tough situation. Yeah, definitely more people out and about. The rain stopping probably helps too. Yesterday the rain kept coming in bands, and we were able to sneak out between two bands of rain. That's interesting. Lulu's is closed this morning. They serve breakfast, so they should be open now. So I guess not all the businesses are open today at their normal hours. I would expect later today people, they'll be back to normal, but that was interesting to see because they always have a bunch of people outside at breakfast. We bike this a lot. If you're new to our channel, we have a bunch of biking videos up and down Ocean Boulevard, and we're gonna have more coming out soon. And they always have a crowd at Lulu's in the morning, always. Some big hotels here. It's Hilton Grand Vacations. And here's the still mystery construction. We'll keep you posted. I mean, that lot's definitely big enough to put one of these towers in. It would be tight, but you could do it. I've seen them put these towers up in space you wouldn't think they would fit, and they make it work. Also, a lot of people were asking me yesterday for tips and stuff if you're here during a hurricane. If you can go home, I recommend going home. I just do. Why stay? But if you decide to stay, one of the biggest tips I have is get your car up off the ground if you can. Get your car up in a parking deck somewhere off of ground level because of storm surge. So if you're staying in one of these oceanfront hotels and you're on the ground, you're at much higher risk of your car ending up underwater. So that's one of my little tips, is park as high in a parking deck as you can. Still no guarantees. I'm not saying that the parking deck would flood, but you could still get wind damage or something else, but that would be my biggest tip. And also, don't go outside when the hurricane's at full. I know the temptation's there, go out and get pictures, but stay in, stay safe when it's at its worst. Looks like in front of us we've got a City of Myrtle Beach truck, and looks like they're picking up debris. Already out picking things up. City of Myrtle Beach has great employees, and they do a really good job. They really do. They don't get enough credit because, the amount of people that come through here is staggering. I want to say I saw recently it was like 3 million people. I'm talking about people who don't live here a year. And again, don't quote me. I don't know if that's exactly right, but just imagine keeping this place clean with all of those people coming through. It's pretty incredible. There's a Starbucks over there. Usually when there's a Starbucks, you see lots of people going in and out, and there's not right now. So yeah, it's definitely still not back 100% normal. And up here on the right, Sea Captain's House. We definitely recommend eating there. That is our favorite place here to eat. They have great seafood, great food. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to click on the video on your screen right now and click subscribe so you won't miss anything new. Thanks so much for watching. Until our next adventure.